Seems good. So I think I played offline a little yesterday. Just did some leveling. Bring up my notes. Mods from Father, Necromech parts. Build new sun pets. I think I finished that. Was that one off? Smaris, Nightwave. Naris. Oh, first things first to the foundry. Got a new former building for another frame to Helminth. Little Bamba. First one I saw. Get her in there. What's up, right? I think we're getting pretty close to having all of them done. Still 7 to farm. I think 3 or 4 more in the foundry. Nox, Lavos. Okay, never mind. There's still quite a few in the foundry. 6 more here. I don't think Plague Star's here yet, is it? I was kind of thinking that was a tomorrow thing. Notice Prime Access begins September 8th. It's September 8th today. So why is it saying it's 6 days away? I guess it would be showing up here if it was a thing, right? It is. Pretty sure it's not. Let's go to Fortuna first. Go and turn in all our bits and bobs. Running out of the resource boosters. I don't think I'll buy more though. I don't think I need much of anything specific.
Hoping to see enough good people and tested sailors looking to get back on their feet.
Nothing I want. Also, I need 3 of the special guys.
Right, you are. You know where to find.
That was Rocky.
Since a certain incident with a blind girl in a void gate.
Okay. Just found out that D are going to fix the Voidrig's 4th ability. Apparently has an extra 0 by mistake. I had heard that before, but didn't know. I hadn't heard they were going to fix it. Doesn't really surprise me though. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, so I'll be wasting a bit of rep. So let's go and buy some stuff. This is Virtuous Magus. I don't need any Virtuous, so we go to Magus. That would melt. Of which I need 11.
You've got a deal. See you when I see you.
10, turn that in.
Any of this use?
Buy 1 more so I can cross it off. Saying I've got 11 because I have one that's rank 4. I think.
Anything else? See you on the rails.
Hopefully I wrote it down right. Start off. Either way. I'll have a look. I didn't even notice that claim all button was there. Good on that one. Let's see, Onko. We also have to buy some Samara stuff too, because his rep's almost capped. Is there anything that people are using Voidrigs for on at the moment? Is it the meta anywhere? I know it's fine for doing like isobolts and stuff, but do they use it for Eidolons or Prophetake or anything? Am I going to do the K-Drive quest? I mean, I have to at some point.
We watch. We anticipate.
Maybe we'll do some today.
Proceed. Allow us to improve your efficiency.
What's my rep at?
We are prepared.
Might as well buy some while we're here. I don't mind the K-Drives for travel, if a bit slow, but I don't like doing tricks on them, though. Cadence first. Still need 2 more, apparently.
Well chosen.
2 of them. I know, but it's nothing groundbreaking. So I can get 10 of these, which means I only need 1 more.
Beneficial. It is done. The history.
Don't need anything else from here. Do have to do some demo stuff to get rep for Father's mods. So I guess bounties would be fine. For these. Assume the sprint speed is only for the operator. It's a Magus rather. So we'll leave that for now. Make the argument that summoning your mech is faster than summoning your Arc Gun for Prophet Taker. I think I definitely watched a run where someone was doing it. I don't know if it was the world record though. It looked pretty quick though. You have to do anything here. I actually really like the way that Atlas's colors cross over onto the sister weapons. I think it looks pretty solid. Even Tile's Boltace skin, or just Boltace rather. Pretty solid. Although when you run around spamming this, I think I had a Wisp in my party giving me fire rate, and I had the Fissure Corruption where it had unlimited ammo. Because of Atlas's passive where he can't stagger himself when he's on the ground, I'm just running around shooting straight down and I can't see a damn thing, but I have like a round every like 0.25 seconds or something ridiculous. So he's nuking the whole map, but the whole time just couldn't see a damn thing. Actually, I think I threw a former on here too. Pretty sure I put Umbral former here. I feel like any frame that needs all 3, I'm going to just throw an Umbra on there now that they're like weekly reoccurring. I've got a weird build because I was doing Railjack. I think that was my last Umbral. Alright. I'll do the sorties. Defense reaching wave 20. I don't know if there's any reason for me to want this right now. Just look at where my frames come from real quick. Infection, Sanctuary, Infested Salvage, Efficiency, Disruption, and then Deimos Bounties. No real reason to do a specific node. But having to do Deimos Bounties is 2 birds with 1 stone, because I need the rep anyway. I'll have a look. Not sure how much I like the Envoy yet. Don't want to judge it too harshly. It's not... I don't love it at the moment. It's not fully modded, so... I think once it's done and I mess around with it in the sim, I'll have a better idea of how it performs.
On Deimos, be aware of all things.
So Zaku comes from here. So I've got chassis. Right. So I built an alt helmet and put that on, right? That's what that is. Don't need chassis. I don't need the blueprint. Which comes from Smaris, apparently. Start off. Need systems and your optics. So might as well do those to get rep as well.
So much to be done here on Deimos.
Your optics.
Excellent. Report back with your
Let's go and do that.
results.
All my stuff needs leveling anyway, so...
Understanding of the infestation on Deimos in order to protect the heart. Lloyd will instruct you on how to procure geological core samples in relevant areas.
I really dislike the reload animation on this gun. That's kind of the main thing. Annoys me.
Geological core samples can be procured nearby.
I didn't really consider that there would be K-drive races out here.
Please.
Just ignore them and blast infested. It'll do more good. There's some Grineer survivors working around here that might help out. I should have baked.
Why is she giving me the K-drive race? Thought there'd be a vent kit out here.
Friends now. 10 more.
Kills most. 10 more. Not so fierce, huh?
Right, I forgot about how shitty the spawn rates are. It's actually much harder to kill at the lower level. The Grineer is so quick. Steel Path, they can't do anything, but at this level... Maybe we get more spawns if people join. We're really just getting these 3, that's it. It's kind of pathetic. The bounties on Fortuna and the Plains, pretty solid, right? I don't think I've ever really had a problem with the spawn rates there. So I kind of forget how awful they are on this world. The world out of all of which makes the most sense to have the most spawns. Just farming infested pods. Trying to anyway. I'm being a little premature, but I'm trying to prevent these guys from stealing them. This reload animation is just like, it holds a briefcase out in front of him. It does whatever it does, and then we're good to go again. I also feel like this weapon really wants a fire rate mod. I don't know if it's going to have room for it. Actually, even with Merciless, the reload speed is not great. So max rank Merciless gives you 30%. Doesn't really feel like enough. What's up, Raccoon? Just trying to get Zaku. Also do Nightwave stuff. Need Rep to buy mods from Father too, actually. I'm struggling with this awful spawn rate that I always repress. Literally 3 enemies at a time. The 10-second break between them.
Well done, Tenant. That little fucker has secured us a core sample from the grateful Grenier. There is an apex infested in this area that you'll need to deal with. I suggest eliminating infested in the vicinity to secure construction materials.
I actually really come to like this Spear Axe pistol too, the more I use it. I'd like to get max rank Merciless on here for the reload speed as well. So I feel like with 30% it'll actually feel really good. As far as single target sidearms go, performs very well. Against like level 100 armored guys in the fissures and stuff. Looks pretty well. Wish I could make these sigils completely transparent though. Assume they haven't added anything in my absence that allows that. I guess this is a projectile though. Wonder if it'd be worth putting, what is it, Fatal Acceleration or whatever it is on there? I don't think that's it. Faster travel time.
Successfully deployed. The desired target is approaching. Eliminate it to fulfill mission parameters. Target eliminated. Congratulations on a job well done. Taking down the apex alone.
Unbelievable that they haven't unfucked the spawn rates on Deimos surface. I have to agree. It just makes no sense. Like, all the bounties in the plains and the Valis, pretty good spawn rate. Here it's just fucking awful. And of all 3, you would think the infested would have the most spawns. I always forget about it as soon as I leave, and then every time I come back here I'm like freshly disappointed by how awful it is. Sort of weird reload bug there. Permanently locked in it. Only recently rediscovered that when these guys expired, you get rubble to build up your armor stacks. So I think there was a period of time where it was, I forget why, but it was meta to spam the shit out of your 4 and just dispel them over and over again. Max out on armor. Remember why that was necessary though. Also, in my absence, they apparently changed his 2 that it would give you... If an enemy shoots it, it deals like slash damage to them based on the amount of damage dealt or health lost. That's certainly never a thing prior to my break. I did some testing with it in the sim and it really seemed to do anything. It wasn't slash procs, just slash damage. So I couldn't really make it useful. I've got dispensary on here at the moment. Along with equilibrium for unlimited energy and railjack. Faster rubber? Not sure what that's in reference to.
An excavator has lost power. Reinitiate it with a locally procured power source.
Yeah, I would. Rubble, right. That makes more sense. It's like, what the fuck was I just talking about to bring that on? Just completely spaced on whatever my mouth was saying. Glad that wasn't the case.
Excavation of site complete. An excellent work.
I'm told you have extracted a set of core samples. Good work, Tenno. I believe we're done.
I don't have to go back in, do I? Where's the mother out here? This was just K-Drive. Take those tags, why not?
Yes, there are bounties, if you have the interest.
So in your optics and systems, right? So they're only in your optics at the moment. Guess we'll do the highest level one for affinity.
It is vital that we gain a proper understanding of the infestation on Deimos in order to protect the heart. Lloyd will instruct you on how to procure geological core samples in relevant areas. This would be a great help to me.
Geological core samples can be procured nearby that will reveal vital data.
I think I'm on public, right? Just no one out here doing it. So I don't think I have corrosive on anything. I don't know if the big guys drop what we need for this. And they seem to be a pretty sizable percentage of the spawns. How are you shooting? It's like yellow waypoints on the map that vanish as soon as I go anywhere near them. My envoy needs 34 at the moment. Really, thus far is not that great, actually. Just because the spawns are so awful. I guess they do drop. I don't know if these things stick around forever, or if they just drop like 10 and then vanish. In our best interest is not to kill them. Is your aim and look... Is your aim sensitivity the same, or are you adjusted different to fit your aiming preferences? Oh, that's a good question. I'll have a look in a minute. After we keep this drone alive. Didn't mess with that for quite a while. I think this is just a time thing, right? I don't actually have to do anything, just don't let it die. I don't think I have any range. I don't have capped efficiency either. Definitely like having range for Atlas's 3. It's pretty good. Pretty solid damage increase and crowd control in general. Okay. Look at aim sensitivity at 15. Scoped 15. I feel like there's more than that, but I guess not. That's for Arcwing. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. So 15. Railjack is higher. Not really sure if that's good or not. Main problem I have with Railjack is I just can't fucking see anything. When set, look input only turns the Railjack and does not affect your crosshair. Actually, very interested to try that. Because if the crosshair is permanently central, I'll try that. True. This is the crappy one.
They're all tuckered out. Let's go find some more primates.
Destroy it with weapon fire.
I don't know how to get down there. You maybe? There we go.
Hostiles incoming.
Seems like there's a chance for nothing to spawn out of the... I guess they're growth pods? What are they called? Spawn pods? That definitely shouldn't be the case. When it appears, a mob should definitely hop out of it. Maybe it was just a flying enemy that I didn't see.
Move on and destroy the next hive. Hive located. Destroy it with weapon fire. Infested activity spotted. They will be upon you soon.
So I don't really need any of my abilities out here. No reason to leave the Arcwing. I don't know how much rep I actually need. Centillion? I don't think I need either. I think I need like 40,000 rep. Ooh, I'm not done. There's only 2 mods that I need. This is probably the worst bounty of them all, core samplers. I thought there was a point where these rumblers could do pretty solid damage. I haven't actually looked at it recently. Okay, they fucked that guy up. I don't know how far that scale is though. My DPI is pretty high as well. I figure that should come into the equation. My DPI is at 1600, I think. So I think I used to have my in-game settings a lot higher and then my DPI a lot lower. That's where I'm at these days. I like that I can use the one to just punch away to where I know there's an enemy but can't actually see them. I'll just auto-target them for me. Alright, Atlas needs another former. I might need... I don't have anything in his Exilus yet. I think every other slot, apart from the Emerald ones, have been polarized. Probably through... I'm going to look at my other build, but I suspect Cunning would probably be what I'd want. More range. So V in the Exilus. I need to go and look at the guy on the relay, the system melee weapons. I haven't looked at those for ages. So I haven't actually leveled any of them. I think most of the melees I have are pretty crap. One's left to level. I think I have the Pangolin sword, which is alright. Could put primed sure-footed on and use AoE weapons in the air. Yeah. I don't really feel the need, to be honest. If I'm in the air, I'm probably high enough that I can just do it anyway, right? Aiming, that used to be a good reward.
Good work, Tenno. I believe we're done here.
Knowing that I can't swap back in here. Rip meme strike, indeed. I'm kind of glad it's gone, however. There was an era where the only button you would ever press, aside from melee, aside from movement rather, is your slide attack macro. And I don't really miss those days. Can you recall what your fastest run for Plague Star was? Not specifically, but I think we were around like the 6-7 minute mark. I don't really remember what it was. That was solo with all catalysts in there. So I think Let's just do the actual build so I can see what I would want. So I think this is what I would have had. So then I just have to decide on a V. On an Exilus, rather. I don't think any of his augments are that great. That's not even his augment. Single rumba, 300% health and damage. Cause him to slam the floor and knock down enemies in 15 meters. That augment was actually pretty decent. I do remember that. Enemies are scanned into the codex and have a 25% chance to drop additional loot. Situationally useful. I do remember this was pretty good. I think I ran it for a while, but it's not really necessary. It just gives you free, because you're spamming your one all the time. It's basically just like a passive 3. It heals your Rumbler? I didn't even know that. Fossilized foes heal Rumblers and create petrified bulwarks. When shattered, petrified enemies also drop healing rubble. It's changed. Summoning petrifies enemies in close proximity to Atlas. Collapse into a pile of healing rubble. Rage over Hunter? Only because I couldn't fit Hunter. So obviously, here with another V here, we'll throw Hunter in, but on the other build I had 0 points left. So I think we'll just throw Cunning in. I don't really feel like I need more strength. Which is always nice. I like having more duration, but I don't really feel that's super necessary at the moment. I guess what V would I throw there? Or what dash, rather? I guess Constitution could go there. Pretty sure this will be a V. So if you have Rage, you get an extra point. So I can fit that in there for now. Swap that out later. That's not maxed. Neither is that. Who do we turn tokens into? I guess Grandmother?
Husband, go on, dear. Oh well, can't be helped.
So that's 22. So I can do 30 a day. So I guess I'll do some more of this.
Oh, Mag.
Need 40k total to buy everything here.
I'll see what else I can unearth for you.
But we need Zaku anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Not super actively farming him at the moment, but...
That concludes our business.
On public. I guess there's just no one doing this.
You are here to assist.
Steel Path is the chassis, which is what we don't need.
I look forward to your return,
Do that.
as do we all.
I might also throw Corrosive on my weapons.
Over the years, many expeditions of both Grineer and
Pistol in
Corpus
particular.
have become trapped on Deimos. Caches of resources left behind by the survivors still dot the surface. See what you can find and bring back.
Corrosive Viral Heat.
Void will show you where to look.
I was messing with this. I didn't even notice that it... Like, I completely forgot that it was on, and I didn't notice it when I was playing just then. Guess it's not that great. We'll take it off and see if I notice it being gone. What's the crit mod called? Seven. So that gives us 32. So that'll give me an idea of what Merciless will feel like. Which I don't have maxed yet. This weapon feels very similar to the Lex Prime, which is my all-time favourite pistol in the game. So if we get a replacement for it that can actually handle all the high-level stuff, that would be very nice.
scan logs have registered a substantial cache of lost resources in this area.
Time to make some new friends. Best brush your teeth. When it's got juice, the purifier upsets the minutes. What's different?
There's a weird bug that I found on Deimos where I used it to level my mechs. So the game thinks I'm still level 28 even though I just formed, which means I can still use my ultimate ability. So I did that on... Oh wait, I have to actually activate this thing. I did that in Fortuna to level the Necromech. The main one, Voidrig. Because then you would always have your 4, so you'd former, you'd go straight back in, be rank 0 with your 4, nuke everything with it to level up. Super efficient. I didn't realize that happened on frames though. Oh. Damn it, shit everywhere. How does one get Nidus Prime? He hasn't been released yet, has he? He comes out later today. Or tomorrow, maybe? Not sure where he's going to drop yet. Wouldn't be surprised if there was some Railjack shenanigans. Tomorrow for you. I don't know exactly when, but today or tomorrow. I suspect after I stop streaming. 5 AM tomorrow your time? How many hours is that? Because I don't really have any idea of when it's supposed to be. Similar if you're Aussie? Okay. I am. It's 5 AM. I don't play until 9 PM, so... Those are Plague Star. I assume they're happening in the same update, right? I heard the relic will be in Plague Star Bounty reward rotation. Okay. I mean, that makes sense too. Plan to be doing that anyway, so 2 birds with 1 stone I'm happy with. I guess that gives me more incentive to do Plague Star, so smart on their part. That reload still feels a tiny bit slow even with a reload mod on. I guess I could get a ribbon for it. Reload plus something else. Maybe replace a 60. Or an element. Thinking of just going Prime Access for the sweet Necromech skin. I haven't seen that either. Yeah, you do you. I definitely won't be buying it. I guess they do a Prime Accessories bundle, right? Maybe I could look at that. That used to come with boosters. I think I bought a Necromech skin that I quite liked. It's just in the store. Brother's gonna buy it for me because he retired his warframe account a long time ago. Bonus. Can't complain about that. 90-day boosters. What are they? I think it was it credit and affinity?
located a squad of Grineer survivors in the area.
$50 for a cape and a skin, kind of too much for me. Hey, it is up there. I thought it was only like $30. Am I crazy? I think it's a fish I'm trying to shoot. Man, it takes a long time for this guy to finish a sentence. Kids in overtime, I value my gaming time. Yeah. I think the accessories are like one of the ways that I don't mind supporting D. Because obviously I think they're doing a decent job with the warframe. Always have. I don't really want to buy content. I'd rather go and farm whatever. So when there's boosters and just random cosmetics, why not? I have to like the cosmetics, and I haven't seen these ones. I don't really use the Necromate too much, so I don't know how valuable a skin would be. I didn't buy a skin for the Lisette or the Operator when they came around. Guess we'll have a look tomorrow. 20 plus 30, 20 being Nidus Prime itself, and 30 for the accessories. Alright. Yeah, well, I'd only ever buy the accessory pack, not the whole thing. That's why I remember it that way. Each of their own, for sure. I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong for buying it. Just because I don't want to. The money, your time, do whatever you want. So the higher the level gets for this particular stage of the bounty, the easier it is because the Grineer just get weaker and weaker. Been doing it wrong? I haven't bought a single item in this game as far as I can recall. Farmed everything. The only things I spend platinum on are Former and like potatoes, like Exilus slots, that kind of stuff. So I'm happy enough to spend it on that. For all the weapons and frames and whatnot. Farm them all. Multiple times for Helminth and whatever else.
It's a good bet they haven't found any caches lately.
What's that? Okay.
Hey, there's a cache marker. Maybe it's the one we're looking for. The infestation's got that
This is the good one.
Protecting itself with a sort of barrier membrane. Move inside the barrier before attempting to damage the infestation. As I predicted, no harm can be inflicted from outside the infested barrier. Proceed inside.
Where's that last one at?
Maybe we can find another way to break it free. What's that connection?
I have detected a grip on the cache. You'll need to trust them.
That's my favorite of the bunch. It's an easy, very quick.
You cannot breach the infestation from outside its protective barrier. Excellent.
I don't like his lines here though, because he just goes on forever.
Efficiently procured. The additional cache contents should prove invaluable.
Lloyd tells me you have a cache unlocked.
Have you built up the 10 at Grigori yet?
Active efforts.
It comes from the relay guy, right?
Do without these occasional
So no.
windfalls.
How am I supposed to play Wukong? Tanky, full strength, duration, efficiency. It depends if you like his 4 or not, I guess. Let's have a look at my build real quick. I think my build isn't really optimized at the moment because I've changed him a lot. I was just messing with this, it's not actually that great. Usually had that in there. So his 1 is great, you basically always want to have that. 2 is pretty good for healing your 1 and just getting around in general. 3 is pretty good for the armor. And 4 is, you know, good if you want to use it, I guess, but... So I think the only thing I don't care about is range. But like I said, I haven't really played him that much recently, so I don't know if I don't know what I would change on here. I used to like using his 4 quite a bit. Kind of been outdone these days though. Quite like running the red crit build. You just have crazy red crits on your 4. 4 is pretty average, yeah. It's a scythe thing. Melting 3k enemies. Yes. I've been meaning to buy them. I'm going to go and look at him right now. I think Celestial Stomp is affected by range is useful. I think I could build an entire build built around it and crowd control. How necessary really is that? I liked it more when his Cloudwalker is affected by strength. Let's put Atlas back on. Yeah, I don't think most people use his 4 anymore. It's all about his 1. Pretty frequent use of his 2 and his 3. I still like him. I think he's still pretty decent. If you're not trying to be like super optimal, his 4 can still clear all of the star chart, no problem. Sorties, no problem. Still path pretty well. There are just better options now though. Level armor mods plus a bit of efficiency. That seems fine. Still boost the Cloudwalker speed with Siren's Molt or Dispatch Overdrive. Yeah. There are still a few little ways, but it's quite niche. So this is Aaron, right? So I've been waiting for radiation or magnetic on these weapons.
Good fortune, Tenno.
Cold, radiation, toxin. So this says corrosive, but it's really toxin because it has innate electricity. So then when you put mods onto it, it combines in like really weird ways, so I don't want that. So I can get this today because it has radiation, so we'll buy that.
A mutually beneficial exchange. How all business
Then
should be done.
Cold, toxin I don't want. I think there's still a Zor scythe that I need to build.
Good fortune, Tenno.
Rotates in a day and a half. Just gonna look at the arbitration vendor real quick while I'm here. Not sure if there's anything here I still need.
Have you
Mods probably, yeah.
arbitration? Honors await you.
What are all these? Bunch of mods. Do I have that written down? Arbitration mods, we'll add that. How long will the Plague Star event be? 3 weeks or so, yeah. 20 days, something like that. I just hit my stop streaming button. So I still need to do Samaris today. Not right now. What was I doing? I forgot. Doing demo stuff and leveling. I think I just came out to look at the Baron guy, so we'll go back in. Not homing with phone connection, it's crap in squads. Fair. I think I'm going to be doing most of mine solo. Not sure how efficiently a squad could do it, actually. I'm curious what the difference would be. Let's get a grandma. Okay, so that's my standing cap done for today.
As you wish. I'll be right here, gathering dust.
So we didn't get lucky with Zaku, but not too big a deal.
Tenno, good to see you.
Weird. Store 300 health for every 3 status effects, plus 90% status chance. That is very weird. I think of the 3, that one makes the most sense. Just have to buy those 2. 4 days more worth of rep farm. I haven't used the Soma in a long time. Can those guys ever get out of the infested flower thing? I've never seen them out. I assumed that the flower was part of them. Maybe the Soma's hot garbage. It used to be good. Sure, long time ago. Used to be the meta. I think it was the go-to weapon for killing things like the Phantus as well, with like the damage reduction. The thing to realize is that the Paris Augment is an Exos slot. Is there another Paris? I hadn't thought there was. I mean, pretty solid crit and status, right? Haven't used that in a very long time. Another Soma I wanted to look at. Interesting to see how this performs with all the new mods. Is this polarity? Dash. I think I have dashes purely for a corrosive build against the Phantus, now that I think about it. Get back on its trash, no matter how I mod it. You like the way the Paris looks? I don't like it at all, to be honest. I guess I don't really want to throw an adapter in here to go and test it, but I kind of want to test it at the same time. I think I would need another former on here to max everything out. Sell the mod. It's a D. I need to get... Oh, maybe I don't have to get rid of a dash. So that can go in there now. So is this corrosive? It has to be viral these days. I guess I still want fire rate. Sad not to have shred in there. It's just pure viral at the moment. So I'm not even using the augment. I guess that doesn't go in the Exos? I forgot what it was called. It also seems weird to use that when there's the other galvanized mod, right? Fine, fuck me, I'll do this. Not putting an Exos on though. Is top tier Riven? Whenever my clone uses it, it gives me 300 HP. That's actually pretty cool. It's a good idea. Let's go to the sim and just shoot this thing a bit. I'm just curious to feel it again. It's been a very long time since I felt the spool.
Creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
Wait till I get MR15 to get the Mutilus Cernos. Till then, the Tetra or the Phage. Phage pretty good. I never thought the Tetra was any good, but I think the Tenet variant is solid. Mutilus Cernos is good, although it's better there's a new bow, I forget what it's called. Probiscus Cernos is even better. I want to get rid of my pet, but I don't want to change it all the time. Anyway, on here, we'll go to Simulacrum. Doesn't have the pet. I think this has like a really weird skin, doesn't it, by default? Color scheme definitely doesn't work with that skin. Let's go here. Default. Weird. Actually curious how the Atlas colors carry over to it. No, they're in the wrong slots. Just the gold? So we want that to be gold. This is the Oricon. This one. Comes across alright. So we've got to give it a minute for all the galvanized mods to rank up. So I guess we'll kill some butchers first. So it's a bit more fair. 10 of them. Come back and swap into the other ones. I don't mind the sound. Yeah. Odd. So got a few stacks. And the screen jump is pretty serious. It is also actually pretty crazy how loud it is. Definitely want to have Shred back on here for punch through. We're getting lit up. It's not awful. Need Prime Shed for the punch through, yeah. On my normal build I had it. I just wanted to mess with this. So I don't know if... So I'll drop this for Shred, for sure. I don't know if I'd keep Hunter or not. I'm not sure what I'll pick. I'll probably put Vial here for the extra crit. I think it would perform much worse without Hunter on there. I guess we can try it with Shred. All my stacks have reset, so it's going to be not awful to kill them. I guess instead of changing it, we can just do this, right? Actually, that makes a lot more sense to do it that way. I fucked it up. More of them. Oh, these guys really lined up for me. Also, I feel like Atlas is so fucking thick, he's taking up a lot of the screen. I think it's alright. The screen shake really pulls me away from it, I have to say. I think the Bratton was my favourite assault rifle. I did go through here and test this at some point. It'd be nice to have viral heat, but you really can't fit it. Point strike instead of the other one. I used to have a Riven. I still have the Riven. Is it electricity? So that's not great anymore because we want viral instead of corrosive. It's annoying. Otherwise I'd probably replace a 60 with it. So this is only aiming. I'm curious to try that, however. So it activates as soon as you hit a headshot. And headshot kills will stack it up. Try that. Going through his bulking phase. No slouch, people just like to hate on it because it doesn't kill instantly. Yeah, I feel like the problem now is that it's so... all the single target weapons are so outshined by all the... I like the way that looks. By all the AI. AoE now, that's the word I wanted. So I think the Bratton still performs pretty well. So I can't really hipfire this with the galvanized mod I've got on. Fire rate feels kind of slow. I guess now I'm just used to the Soma all of a sudden. Get a few slash procs sticking on him, you can just leave him alone though. 9,000 slash proc on that guy. Mod's not bad, I guess on... I guess this makes sense on automatic weapons, because when I play with the Bratton, I never really hipfire it anyway, so... Seems alright. Next prime will be out today, tomorrow for us, but yeah. You lose all stacks from galvanized scope? What do you mean by that? Well, if you aim, yeah. Settings interface, somewhere in there. Down here, customize colors. I did it originally for Railjack to make the cursor more visible. Kinda worked, kinda didn't, and now I've just sort of stuck with it. When the Galscope stacks run out, it drops all of them. That is not great. The other mods don't work like that, do they? I don't think even the status ones do that. These two. Seems kind of crap. Tried out the Staita. I have not. I guess the 120% is the crit. I don't really see the stacks for it though. The Argon scope, I guess. So the +5, second from the left. All the other ones are ticking down one at a time. It's a real shame. An assault rifle. Stolter, right. I don't know why that looks like an eye from here. Maybe there are more, forgot to scroll. What are the other ones? So I guess the other one is the slower fire rate, which... I feel like the fire rate is already a bit meh. I don't really want to drop it further. That's why I still had this on there. Kind of curious to try that, but it won't fit, so I guess we're not gonna. I think the main AR now is the Trumner, right? Arrow Heat. Some kills real quick. don't think I have punch through on this thing though. Get some pretty mean slash procs on there, and then you've always got the AoE. And the problem with it is the crazy recoil, which is why I've got stabilizer on there. No, it's not an arc gun, it's just a massive hulking rifle. Actually, it doesn't look that big in Atlas's hands, but everywhere else it's quite big. I don't know if I like that or not. Mods can't fit on a 100 former build, yeah. Well, the build was perfect before they added all these extra mods. So shit happens, I guess. I think this is still the best weapon overall. Guess we can just get some stacks on the high level guys anyway. Take too long. For ease of use and overall DPS, pretty crazy this thing. Just having that massive punch through. No need to aim, no need to try. Give that thing legs and it would do the star shot on its own, right? Anyway, I don't know why I'm screwing around here. Out of it. Where do you get it from? The Trumna comes from Father in Deimos, I'm pretty sure. We should go and do Samaris before I forget. That is definitely a priority. I actually have to go and buy a blueprint before I do, though. Otherwise we'll hit standing cap. Kuva Carrick's my current favourite bullet hose. I do have that. I haven't used it since all the new galvanized mods are added though, so I don't know how well it performs. My list real quick. Samaris offerings. So I don't need any more frame parts. I do need the Azima once again. I think. Just hover over it. Doesn't say it's built.
What offerings will this item help you bring to the
There goes 100k. Jesus, get out of my face. She had a melee to go with the theme of Trumna and Morsalon. Not sure if I have that or not. Sure where else that would be. Oh, the spelled differently, isn't it? I remember how it's spelled. Morsalon's the art gun, alright. Soldier Azima, yeah. I went crazy at one point. Back when I was doing, like, the only thing I was doing was Sortie videos for YouTube. I wanted to go through and just have the best of everything so that I could have, like, a random loadout. And that at the start of every Sortie, I would just hit randomize and then go with whatever I was doing for the video. Like, go with whatever it gave me. How do I randomize? I've forgotten. So this is what I would end up with, and because everything was formatted and maxed out and a good build, I could just turn around, walk straight to navigation and start it. So back then, when the weapons were shit, I would just get rid of them. But now that I actually want everything, I'm going back and refarming it all. Which means a lot of extra forma, because a lot of the things that I did sell were fully polarized. So a lot of extra work created by old impulsive YouTube me. I was young, yeah. Sure, I got the Kraken. Ah, okay. I scared myself for a minute thinking I had two of the same weapon. Good. So these days I'm just polarizing everything. Is the Azima a good weapon? I think it would be a decent weapon these days. I don't know how good it would be. I guess I have to build it. Just gonna throw it in the foundry real quick. It's just like an automatic pistol, and you can... The alt fire shoots out a disc that like functions basically the same as Warband's flechette orbs, where it just sort of shoots around it. Average but fun, yeah. Like an average automatic pistol. Is the Tenet Cyclone good without galvanized mods? It would be decent, but the galvanized mods are such a power creep thing that... I mean, it's hard to go without, right?
Accept your death, and you may yet avoid it.
What's happened to my head?
Trust in your training.
My intel suggests there are rich enemy supply caches in the area, but I am
Part of me wants a prime version of the login weapons. What is it? The Azima, the Zenith Star, the Zenith. Don't really want that. I think they'll add multifaceted gear upgrades besides levels and mods. Multifaceted gear upgrading besides levels and mods. You mean like an MMO would? Not really. That's how they should have handled Ribbons, but they ended up doing what they did instead. What galvanized bods should I buy for it? You want to get the multi-shot and the status one. They're the two that you can use the most. So if you're trying to buff a pistol, buy those first, but for either the rifle or the pistol, they're the two that you want. It's pretty rare to use the crit one, I found. Based on my testing just now, having all the stacks degrade the way they do, it's definitely inferior. I have Zenith here on Warframe and on Terraria, but it's far better in Terraria. I have seen that. I think you can get the Soma in Terraria as well, right? Crazy. I haven't played too much of that game, but I've seen a bit of it. Until my mods are very much into it. There's another game similar, Starbound. I played a fair bit of that. Never finished it, but got pretty deep into it, I would say. But it might have been a rare crate.
You found the first resource cache. I'm detecting 2 more faint hints.
Huge mod with the Soma Prime Minute, right? I've been thinking about playing, speaking of mods, thinking about playing Darkest Dungeon with the mods. I've heard there's like a massive modding community. Heaps of extra characters and stuff. There's a few DLCs that add a bunch of other random things, but apparently the library for mods on that game is quite extensive. Just kind of thinking about looking into that. I haven't actually done it yet, but... I didn't shoot that. Waifu mods? Not sure I'd go for those or not. Does not surprise me that they exist, however. Oh nice, this counts as my steel path for Nightwave. I didn't even think of that. So we've got to get 1,000 kills in steel path. We've got 138 here. Just doing my Samaras grind. Completely spaced on that. That one count? Yep. Oh, I miss him. Scan the cameras, yeah. Sometimes I remember. You scan them, they start hitting randomly. Never noticed that. Thought maybe it was my carrier for some reason. He's got that mod that like destroys crates and stuff. Zenith in the login day 100. Can you choose now? Okay. I think when I did it, and there was no choice, you got it on whatever day you got it on. It's been... I guess now there's the caches. I've gotten a few caches where you could choose between them. Endo, Rivens, or whatever else. Never had that option for the weapons, though. You can? I mean, that's a good change. Does that work for the mods as well? Had to go by order, yeah. Sigma and Octantis is available starting second choice on day 300. Pretty sure the Sigma was the last weapon I got. I don't remember what my last login reward was. Last time I got to choose something good. I guess Prime Sure-Footed would have been relatively recent. I don't think I've gotten anything since returning. That like scream then reminded me of a scream from Diablo 2. Sounded super similar. And the mods. $10 50. Must have been talking a lot in that one. Is Sigma, Netta, or Octantis? What? Sigma and Octantis is a sword and shield. You get both at once. Seg. Let's go. I don't know which is which. Sigma sword. Octantis shield, there you go. That's not two weapons. Last reward was the cape at 1,000. For that we only ever get green rewards. I don't remember what the cape is. Alright, it would have been part of the same series. Oh, I do kind of remember it's got the disc on the back, the lodestar. It's not bad, I would say. The problem I have with a lot of capes like this that have like so much on the sides is that when you run, your arms like clip through it. So you see my left like tricep there is cutting right through the cape. That drives me nuts. There's no way I can do that on any frame. So when they're so like bulky on the side, I find I can't put it on a lot of characters. That's why this one's probably like my most used overall. Because someone ruined it for me recently. I like the thinner ones usually. I've got so many of these back from when you had to tie an arcane to a specific Syndana. It kind of works. There's a hair clip through it. No. Kind of weird seeing it like flopping back and forth though. But it does clip. That real quick. Lieutenant Gregori's like Reaper Prime and Glaive Prime had a child. Well, I think the Reaper Prime is pretty good in its own right. At 950 and I have the cape already. How did that Syndana arcane system work? How have I never heard of this? It was basically the same way the arcane helmets worked, right? So this is the arcane menticide helmet. Worn by Nyx, increases velocity of parkour maneuvers but reduces shields, but it's permanently attached to this. You can never take it off the helmet. And if you ever wanted to use an arcane in the past, I forget which arcanes it was. I don't know if it was Energize and Grace and stuff. I guess it must have been. You would basically infuse it into a cosmetic item, into a cape. And because that was the only one that I found that was like the least intrusive on most frames, like it works on most frames. It's nothing like special, but it never clips with anyone. This is the one I went with. So I had 6. So I guess it would have been for Grace, Aegis, Energize, Barrier, Guardian. Energen's that old? Uh-huh. Very old. Syndana Arcane working like the Arcane helmets. 1 buff and 1 debuff. No, it didn't have debuffs. Only the helmets had debuffs. But they changed that a very long time ago. Which was a good change because it was a bad system, so I welcome it. Buy these Nightwave, these helmets from Nightwave as an Easter egg. I've seen the Ash one in there pretty recently. There's our Nightwave. So we're gonna do sorties. 20 waves of defense. What level am I? In the 8.
It is time. I will. The redemptive.
That was an error? Okay. So what defense would I want to do? And why, I guess, is the question. I guess I could do a Steel Path defense. 20 waves. Steel Path Hydron as Alice. Not sure how well that would go. I don't really think I could survive 20 waves there. Steel Path. Problem is I'll get people that will stick around to wave 5 and then everyone will fuck off and then I'll be alone for the next 15. How is Atlas now? It used to be trashed. I would say he's pretty good now. I think his 2 is his only bad ability. Everything else is pretty solid. Pretty good passive. Bunch of good synergies. Quite like him. I wouldn't say he's really meta for anything, but he's definitely capable enough to do everything. He enjoys playstyle. Steel Path Hydron solo 20 waves with Brute. Rook is super tanky. I quite like him. His 4 is very solid too. I don't know if these bolts that I'm firing, I guess the rockets that I'm firing, if they're curving even when I'm not aiming. It definitely looks like they're not firing straight, but maybe they just have like an arcing projectile. Could be it. That energy color, it looks like you're killing enemies with lime soda. You should see me playing Banshee. Same energy color, and the enemies just look like lime soda. Everyone's painted fluoro green. I was so lucky you weren't watching the other day when I had like unlimited fire rate and unlimited ammo on this thing, so I was just running around shooting it straight down the entire screen. Yeah, it was blinding. I guess for this level you should throw Firestorm on it just to make things quicker. Really don't like the reload on this though. Also benefits from the Steel Path high enemy density for restrain removal. Is his force still proc Shattering Impact? I don't see why that would have changed. I guess that would be super good at dealing with Steel Path. That plus Viral. I think I often run the Crit Arcane on him as well. Just get red crits galore. Because the AoE on his 4 is insane. Quite satisfying. Need a Bobonica on Mirage that's blinding. That's a solid weapon. I really like that weapon. I haven't got the Shido yet. Not the sentient variant. Interested to try that though. Alright, Paracesis Steel Path on Earth and I suck, so I'll use my Tenet Cyclone. Well, if the Cyclone is carrying you through Steel Path without the Galvanized mods, you should definitely pick them up. Because I think the Cyclone is crazy good with a full build on it. I don't think I've really used it without them, because it wasn't in the game until the Galvanized mods already were, for me. It's going to be a pretty solid affinity. I think my Envoy's already max rank, actually. Which is sad, because we're only 5 waves in. When will the new war start? This year, no date. After the event or in between? I mean, it's not coming with Plague Star for sure. I don't know what event you mean. They've been promising new war for like 2 years, so I wouldn't say this year either. Who knows when it will show up. Keep forgetting I've got that on here. It's fuck all duration at the moment though. Alright, because it was level 0. Can converted liches come inside story mode campaign? I don't know. I don't see why not. They usually come if you die once, they'll spawn in, right? Announced on TennoCon that it's coming this year. They're giving double credits affinity for the next 2 months as a prep. Interesting. I mean, the new war has been on 2 prior Tenocons, so I have a lot of trouble trusting anything D promises until they really deliver it. I don't really believe it. I guess if they're doing weekends, that leads some credence to it. Either way, I don't really care too much. I'll play it when it arrives. Don't really get hyped anymore. I want to see my Lich go, you smell like cooked steak? Okay. I don't really find the Liches to be that great, but the on-call crew guys, very solid. If the whole squad leaves, I'll probably throw him down and get him to help out. This didn't have to be Steel Path, did it? It's fine. Usually use the on-call guy to clear. Well, I was using it to clear all the. I don't even know what they're called. We have to fight the warframes to open up new planets. Absolutely shred those guys. I think they're pretty good for acolytes. Pretty good on railjack. Pretty good everywhere. Can you put your Lich as on call? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you can't. Mess with Liches, or sisters, I guess. I don't think you can do a sister. I'm not actually sure about the Lich. But I don't think so. Because I've been using the sister a lot for railjack. Never noticed that option. You can put it in the crew railjack. At the moment I run 2 engineers and a sister. I'd like to have a hybrid pilot gunner, but the pilot is so unreliable for taking out like the reactors on the main objectives. I was trying to work out what that infested thing stuck to the wall was, but it's just this guy's death cube right in my face. I think this goes to 34. I think it's not capped out already. Such a waste of affinity. I should have polarized everything before I went to 20. Also still got corrosive on this. Need to put viral back on. Corrosive's only really good in Deimos now. Kind of sad. Are they at max level when converted, or you need to let them level up? You have to let them level up. I wanted to get rank 5 ones for my crew, and yeah, I had to grind it all the way up there. So they're coming to 15. Oh, they may be going for the Nightwave thing themselves. I didn't really consider that. I guess there are a lot of people that want to go to 20 at the moment. Alice is only 19. What the hell happened to this guy? Do they give that ephemera as well? I think they only give that if you vanquish them, right? I don't think you can convert them and get that. Don't quote me on that though, because I've never really cared about the ephemeras. Right, that was the blowback from me being too close and her shooting me. I was just admiring how pink she was. Can you convert more liches than one? You can convert as many as you want, I think. I don't actually know if there's any kind of slot system in place for them. There may be. There is a limit to how many crew you can have, so it would make sense. But I think you can buy more slots. I don't know if there's a cap on that. Wouldn't surprise me if they sell slots for crew members. Have we seen an Atlas passive augment? I haven't. I mean, I was just looking at his augments before, right? Nothing really stood out. I know his passive is basically prime sure-footed when you're on the ground, which is very nice. And obviously the rubble thing. Petrify those guys, they don't just go flying. Very convenient. Someone really loves pink. Rubble heap, if you have 1400 rubble, landslide is free, deals 2 times damage and has 2 times range. That's crazy. I haven't seen that. Where does that come from? I'm pretty sure I don't have that. I'll have to have a look. Syndicate mod? Maybe I have seen it and just haven't bought it? There are a bunch of augments I don't have yet since coming back. Steel Meridian. I think I'm leveling Steel Meridian at the moment. Which means I probably got the rep to buy it. I'll go and have a look after this. Kinda wish I knew about that sooner. Because I think when I'm solo playing as Atlas, I end up like in actually high risk environments, I end up with maxed armor most of the time. So I haven't really been doing that for a while though. Haven't really had much reason to. I want to take him on the sorties, so I guess we'll see how we handle there, how we perform there rather. Should I go for the Wukong Twin Stomp? Isn't that good, but I want your opinion? I haven't found it to be that useful. I definitely wouldn't put it in like a general Wukong build. But if you're doing something where you're specifically trying to build around it, that might work. But yeah, wouldn't slot it in a general build. Solo. Oh. Joy, the last 5. Solo it is. Get that one cool guy out. Always brings a shitload of lag with it. Shoot my own dude. I didn't realize I could tell him to hold position. Guess we'll let him roam. I think the only Wukong augment I really liked was the one for his 4. Your armor does tick down pretty quick. I wonder how easy it is to keep it above 1400. Maybe I'm misremembering. It would be a lot easier with his other augment too, where I guess that would work pretty well together. Where it leaves a path behind you that if an enemy steps on it, they turn to rubble. They become petrified, rather. Yeah. Because I quite liked Path of Statues. I didn't feel like it was super necessary, but it would combo with that very well. And if above 1400 you have double the range, then that would feel like I don't really need to mod for more range, right? If I have 100% and it doubles it, whereas my current build has 160%. But I guess that doesn't affect Petrify. But then if you're using Path of Statues, does that really matter? This is something I'm going to have to mess around with. I think I've really got the 3 Umbras on here because there's nothing better. That combo does sound pretty good. Kind of annoying if I have to go and form a bunch more because of it. You miss my Riven roll videos? I do not. I always hated Riven system. I'm glad they have resisted the urge to add warframe ribbons though. Your own cool guy really doesn't last that long, does he? Lasts like 2 rounds, maybe 2 waves. I'm noticing a lot more weird ragdoll effects on death than I ever used to. Used to be pretty common with like mowers on the corpus tiles. Not so much with the Grenier. This guy's struggling. I like the Sortie vids, always learn something new. That was the goal. Out of all the things I did, that was definitely the most enjoyable, I think. Never really liked doing the PSAs, but I feel like someone had to put the information out there. New XP farms and stuff. Sorties just get stale after a while. 2 million Kuva down the drain a few months ago. I've probably used a similar amount over my career. There are people that have used a hell of a lot more than that, though. I think I'm sitting on almost 700k at the moment. I have a lot of ribbons to unveil. Probably do a bunch of that on stream at some point. Don't know how much rolling I'll do though. This guy's not having that much luck, is he? Mar 19. I guess he looks like he's got a default vault. I guess the main reason I started doing Sortie videos, it was always like a mental health thing. Like I just wanted something to do every day that would ground me. That's the reason I started. But I think I did like 600 of them or something crazy like that, and it hit a point where it stopped providing me that kind of relief. So I think that's ultimately what sort of pushed me off. I think I did it habitually for a little while. Max rank everything. But yeah, that's what kind of pushed me away. Now, the only reason I'm streaming is for that same reason. So we'll see how long that lasts. Right, still Meridian. Let's go and buy that Augment. Before I do anything else.
Here's what we can do for you.
Now that seems crazy. Deals 2 times damage and travels 2 times faster. Doesn't have more range.
I hope you put it to good use.
Does your depression cause you not to enjoy anything? Yeah. I don't have any passion. The enjoyment I do feel is like super muted, I would say. I would define... Like, I have extreme apathy all the time. I don't really care about anything ever. So you can imagine how that takes away from a lot of hobbies and things that most people would enjoy. So really I do things... Pretty much everything I do is just to cope and not really because I enjoy it. It's not really the best way to be, but what can you do? Actually, I haven't tested this either. Kind of try it. So you're an adrenaline junkie? No, adrenaline doesn't really do anything for me either. Really been into most of those things. You know, like I'll do them, but I don't seek them out. What's the other one called? I guess let's polarize everything else, and then I'll probably go to the sim and mess around with Atlas for a little bit. Or maybe I can just mess around with him in the Sortie, right? Yeah. It's not great. I guess viral, I would want a D here for this. What am I missing here? Crit, fire rate, probably, is what I would want here. Probably not shred, though. I don't see punch through being very useful. Ah, this as well. That was a maybe, right? Maybe we'll go and test that before I polarize anymore while we still got the status mods on here. I just want to see how many slash procs I do get. This definitely needs another V. Pretty high impact as well. I don't know how that would work. So even if I don't end up using Serration, I can still throw a status mod in there. The V slot. I think the solution here is hardcore drugs, meth, or something like that. Yeah, I haven't tried any of those things. I've tried CBD oil as a solution. That's the only like off-market thing I've tried. We're going to try like marijuana at some point. I've never tried anything hard, probably won't. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I don't really want to get addicted to something negative and have that become a coping mechanism, because that could lead to something worse. So if I get like an addiction to meth, say, and then that could easily turn into like a negative feedback loop where taking it makes me depressed, so I take more. You know. I sort of have that kind of have that reliance with junk food, so I've got to keep that under control. So if I get something more addictive than junk food, then it could end poorly. I guess Lethal Torrent is always a good option. I guess it has innate heat, actually. And that's probably fine for now. I'm going to mess with it after I did former it. Sarcasm, yeah, I know. It's fine. I think you still want D's, because you want Condition Overload and Blood Rush. Let's throw a V under Organ Shatter for now. It's Viral Heat. I also wanted to swap this back, didn't I? Put Viral on here again. So I want to test this in the sim real quick. And we'll be doing sorties, I think. Got about an hour left. Do the sorties to test out Atlas properly. There's a survival at the end.
You have immortalized would cry out in thanks. If
So we'll turn this on just for testing's purposes. I don't know if the cat is going to hit these guys. I guess he probably would, right? I think when they're lifted, they take a lot more damage. Excuse me? That took a lot of shots for a slash proc to tick. I feel like Hunt's munitions would work way better than that. Try it once more on these guys. Does it have to be a direct hit? I don't think so. Bombard is stubborn. Have you tried changing your diet? Yeah. My diet's pretty under control at the moment. I get my meals all delivered, pre-made. Impact status effects have 35% chance to apply a slash status effect. 2x below 2.5, which... where's that shown? There. So we're well below 2.5. So we had a 70% chance for impact to do slash. That was not very noticeable. This is 30% on a crit. Let's try that. Yeah, the invoice certainly seems underwhelming. I mean, I don't have any stacks built up at the moment. I'm just trying to see the slash. Like, Hunter Munitions is way more reliable for the slash procs. Let's do an actual kill run. Try and kill stuff. Low fire rate weapons will always be subpar unless it does a fuck ton of damage. Yep, that makes sense. So we got magnetic viral. Sure. Throw this in here. I can go in there. Terminal velocity is kind of tempting as well, though. I did want fire rate. Maybe this is a weapon that needs a Riven with only one disposition, maybe not. Let's try as we are and we'll just kill everything. Turn invincibility on there. Let's fuck that up. So the first run should be a little slow. And when all the stacks are up, we'll do another one. See how it compares. It's so weird to train myself not to aim. So we're basically at full stacks. It's obviously performing quite well. 26k proc on that dude. If you shoot a guy more than once, put all the viral on him, status mod kicks in, does even more on the next shot. I'd say overall, a very powerful launcher. So I guess I'm going to swap this for a D and I'll probably leave everything else the same. I'll put the primed cryo in there. Maybe I could drop this for fire rate. Problem though is that the reload is still pretty shit, so it's like... I'm not going to have room if I do that. Let's just try a run with this. Just cheat our way to max stacks again. Feels a lot better to have that fire rate, even with the reload. Just trying to do it mid-movement, see what it feels like. Yeah, I think overall I'd probably prefer it with the rate over Serration. Actually being able to drop Serration is a pretty nice thing. So this will go here, keep speed trigger in, keep everything else as is. Thank you. Since you're swapping all the time, the envoy should stay reloaded. If you decide to use a primer. Replacing Serration with Bane of Corrupted? I could do that. I don't think I will, though. I don't really like swapping between the Banes so often. Every impact proc produces one plat. That is a good idea. I like that. Sup, Hass? Jock Hass? Jock Hass? Didn't see your first message. Welcome. Just messing around with the Tenant. An Envoy, rather. And Atlas. I kind of wanted to try the Spirix here too. Wanted to see how that performed when we rank it up. Not really sold on that. Kind of upset that this all decays all at once instead of one stack at a time. It's a pretty serious negative. Start with a bombard, they're a bit easier to kill. So gotta build our stacks up. Slash procs are pretty negligible, but the damage itself is kind of insane. And like 2-tap these 175 heavies without a slash proc. I guess we're not spending a mod slot on slash procs either. No way to deal with him. I really like this pistol. Is that an impact Spirex? No, it has magnetic on it. So I wanted magnetic just to add another status for galvanized shot. So it's modded for viral. I think it's modded for viral. It has innate heat, and I've put magnetic on it. Is that what's happening here? It has magnetic heat by default, and then viral. So I've kind of been going for magnetic or radiation for the tenet weapons. So I've got like some go-to weapons for dealing with Corpus. What Exilus mods do we have here? Momentum. Necessary. I don't think the recoil is too bad. My max, kind of irrelevant. Doesn't work. That's irrelevant. Probably not useful. Not really much, is there? I need more accuracy. It feels like it wants a slightly faster fire rate, and a slightly faster reload speed would be welcome too, but it's only a single disposition riven as well. Oh, it's unranked, it's fine. I'll throw a D on here. What did I just lose? Crit. Guess I can drop this into that. Oh, no I can't. No. This is only here really for the crit extra. I think the only other mod would be for like flight speed. Terminal velocity. I think that could be decent here too, because it is kind of slow. The Riven Destroyers should be re-rolled today. Interesting. 500k range? Oh, into it, right. Since you already have base damage on Galv shot, you can remove Hornet for something else. I don't know what else. I mean, I guess fire rate, true. I don't know, I feel a bit weird doing that on weapons that aren't AoE, because then that means you have to focus down the easier guys before it becomes like max viable. Definitely try it. Not entirely sure what I think of it. Top of my head though. But the problem is if you, I mean it's the same problem, if you buff up the fire rate it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel weird to have the reload speed at what it is, right? Doesn't fit. Let's go and rank it up. I kind of want to try that on a pistol too. Come back and look at it later. Saw someone use internal bleeding on this. It was cool. You mean on the pistol? Or on the Envoy? Because it was pretty lackluster on the Envoy, I have to say. Exterminate, exterminate, survival. Spirex. But no, I was talking to Sargon. Regards to that. Impact bonus plus hemorrhage works well on the Spirex. Right, that does make sense, yeah.
You are not alone. This tower is full of life forms, all corrupted by the
Similar to the
neural
glaive.
century. Clean them out.
Yeah, I don't really feel that great about putting impact on a weapon with the like. I'd much rather have magnetic or something. I guess it makes sense if you're building specifically for hemorrhage or similar. I didn't mess with Atlas's augments, did I? Guess I'll do that in the last sortie because it's a survival. Not sure if I'll be able to fit both on there, the build I've got currently. Probably have to drop one of the Umbrals. We'll have to drop Cunning and then I'll be able to fit them both in. Although Cunning's in the Excellence slot, so actually no. I'll have to drop like Stretch. I hope I can fit it in with the opposite polarity. What the? I think I'll definitely add these two weapons to my OP list though. I wish the Lex could be on that list, but fortunately not. Really need to build around it to benefit from it, yeah. I could see myself going back and doing that for a few weapons that I really like. But if I'm just trying to... At the moment, my main goal is just to get everything, max it out, not really to super optimize everything. Or super optimize specific weapons, rather. So if I really like things like the Brammer, for instance, I might go back and change that to radiation instead of heat. Similar things. Or this to impact instead of magnetic. I don't know if I really like it tracking. I feel like I use aim gliding so much as like part of my movement. Kind of annoying to fire a projectile in one direction, then aim to travel to another enemy and have it kind of redirect it. On enemies. Tested your envoy build. Velocity feels a lot better in the Excellence slot. 10 at velocity? What is that? I'm trying to jump around and I'm not benefiting from Atlas's passive anymore. Design the envoy to utilize swapping. I mean, you could argue that with its passive for sure. Terminal velocity, right? Yeah, I may swap over to that. Does make a lot of sense. I think it really suits my playstyle to have the projectiles moving a lot quicker as well. Because I like to aim glide as much as I do. Feels really limiting to try and move around without it. I don't really feel like there's ever any reason to swap in the regular game though, if you're trying to make the most out of the passive on this weapon. I guess Profit Taker is the only place I ever really made use of that at all, with Vigorous Swap. I guess if you're doing things like Disruption, where you're trying to go all the way up the level tree.
I'll get to extraction.
The fire rate does make it feel a lot better. If only base swap speed wasn't shit. Yeah. I thought they were talking about increasing that at some point and they just never did. You see that trick shot? Fired the rocket at the guy, then aimed at the guy, and the rocket whipped around the corner and landed over here. If that was intentional, that would have been cool. Said it was just detrimental. Then when you move faster than your projectile, I actually ran into an issue with this the other day where I don't know how I did it, but I did parkour into the rocket and it instantly killed me. So supposedly there's no self-damage in the game, but I definitely rinsed myself with it. Apparently one of my friends did too. Wasn't isolated to me. Phase 10. Most of my builds are specialized for endurance steel path. Alright, yeah. I haven't had any reason to do endurance steel path since finishing the steel path, right? I guess I still need secondary merciless maxed out, but I feel like I'll get that eventually from just doing the alerts. Steel path variants.
It is time.
Let's just look at Atlas real quick. Bring his build over here. Preparation, I was pleasantly surprised by, I have to say. I guess this would be Hunter Munitions now. Hunter Adrenaline, rather. So I had Fleeting on. So that's the build. I guess if one is suddenly free, then having the max efficiency is less relevant. It takes you a while to get up to 1400, right? And you'll be using your 3 and 4 a fair bit. All 3 Umbrals, I never heard of an exception where all 3 was a good idea. I think I have all 3 on Atlas, Vauban, and Nidus. I think it's a good option on all 3. Start of enemy level up to 1k. Yeah. That'd be cool. So I guess I'll drop Fiber. I guess we can try dropping Fiber and Fleeting and see how that performs. I guess just streamline and max this. What's the duration here? 47 seconds is pretty solid. Modifiers like Borderlands 3? Steel Path? I don't remember a lot of what that had. I thought it was just like different damage types that they did. Yeah, Toxin and whatnot. Guess we can throw Energize on here, right? With Energize, this is probably less important. We'll run it. They could do a lot of things, indeed, they could. Crash course? I don't remember enough to do that. There was fire, heat, electricity, and then like a toxin variant and like an acidic variant or something. I don't remember them doing more than that though.
I'm picking up all under our control.
So you don't get rubble from just punching them straight up.
Is here. This tower
And see if we can hit 1400. Plus there's an elevator just to let it all tick down. Great. Have a mayhem mode? I don't remember that either. Sounds cool. Ooh, out of energy. I guess I can let them hurt me, right? Just walked over the augment thing. So I guess the 3 is what's costing me most of my energy at the moment. I realize I don't have a stat stick on either. I'll have to do that for the next mission. I also forget how the rubble healing works. Maybe it only adds to your armor counter if you're at max health. I thought it was the other way around for some reason. I'm gonna have my 2 for energy now. So I still need efficiency for my 3, even if I'm above 1400. I wonder how natural talent would feel. I don't know if it would impact you. Holy shit, the range is certainly noticeable. Like dashing forward so far. It's immediately noticeable. I definitely have to throw a stat stick on to really feel how this is going. I think the verticality on his 3 is pretty solid. Let's pause for a second, get some more energy. Guess I don't have equilibrium on this build. That's the main reason I had dispensary on, so it's not as good for the energy regen. He still struggles against the big guys. Love these slow things. When I'm playing like this, I feel like I can't really look at chat. If I have something like holding me accountable, I really feel like I actually have to pay a bit of attention. I don't like that it's... I don't like the way his 3 targets, now that I've actually done it. Man, the big guys suck. Looks like my 3 doesn't fire where I'm aiming, it fires where I was aiming when I hit 3. Doesn't feel super fluid. The range on it seems pretty nice. Not sure how that guy was immune, but sure. Let's get out of here. We'll try him again with a stat stick against some high level dudes as well. Here's me streamer. And that seemed to go pretty well. 3 is not fun to use on Atlas without a grouping ability subsumed. I don't know, I quite like it. It was a bit clunky, but I think if you're playing around it, it's fine. It would make sense to have, like, lava on Atlas. I don't know if I haven't subsumed Nidus yet. I haven't done Nidus or Korra. I don't know if there are any other grouping abilities that can be subsumed. They're the only 2 I can think of. So this isn't going to be leveled anyway. It doesn't look like a sword skin, that looks like a pole arm. Range isn't as good as in Snare. Why is there no crit chance mod on here? I think his 1 has pretty shitty crit, but I guess I was relying on Avenger, which is why I have the damage mod. So I've just gone heavy viral. That makes sense. Oh, that's my crit chance, okay. So if I've got Toxin here, I could drop this Toxin for something else, like this. Does Shattering Impact work on his 1? I would be interested in that. Yeah. Better range when subsumed and enemies are less clunky as well as being able to cast multiple ensnares. I thought ensnare only... I don't actually remember how well it works. I thought you really needed to use a 1 to make the most of it. It applies to the main weapon. That makes sense, otherwise it would be on here already. Let's just go as we are and experience it. It's probably only a 5 or 10 minute survival, right? Overall better? Okay.
And they will resist, but I, Vor, will cleanse this.
Why is Legendary Core listed twice? I guess it's Legendary Category and then Core. Shattering Impact is awesome, yeah. It's been a while since I've used Ensnare.
Ready? Trigger the alarm. Life support has been down. We're trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm sending up the life support.
I do remember that being a thing. Guess that would get you there a lot quicker. We're at cap already. That's probably why I remember doing that. So I guess once I'm at cap, I shouldn't worry about spamming my 3 in the hopes that my augments will maintain it. Oh, the radiation hazard making them go after each other. It's kind of annoying. Ideally, they would all be rushing to me. The damage with a proper stat stick is noticeably better. I guess because you can do this with your 4, it gives you 100 every time. I just saw that guy get stoned just from my passive. I forgot that the spawn rate wouldn't be steel path spawns. Sortie spawn rate is awful, comparatively. Definitely deal with the heavies a lot easier. Here's a 10-minute run. I thought his 4 had more of a use than it does. I guess I misremember that. This is something I haven't rediscovered. So his 4 is good for spamming up his armor. I think it's decent for crowd control, just having more sources of aggro. I wonder if the radiation procs will let me kill my own rumblers with the AoE of my 1. Probably not. So I'm not 100% sold on Path of Statues, but I think the other one is actually awesome. Which means I may need to throw another former onto this guy. Radiation Hazard makes team play really fun. I think I'd say this every time I do a Radiation Hazard, but I have a very clear memory of doing a... I think it was an Interception or maybe Exterminate in a Radiation Sortie as Valkyrie, because I always took Valkyrie because she's invulnerable and the teammates couldn't kill me. And a Limbo standing behind me and he performed that like knee stomp, neck break animation like 7 times in a row. It was like stun locked for 35 seconds or something ridiculous. Every time I do a Radiation Hazard, I'm reminded of that. That's the whole reason I took Valkyrie.
Life support capsule is now available.
Oh, 2.7 mil on that guy. Bad day. I was expecting the spawn rates to be much more serious than they are. I think Steel Path really spoiled the rest of the game for me. Probably going to do a Steel Path mission as well so I can play against a real spawn rate. Tougher enemies too. It's 5 mil on that guy. I don't know if the combo duration actually matters on my melee. Doesn't really seem to keep the on-screen thing for longer. I'm not actually hitting anything with the melee weapons. I'm curious to find an ability that I like to have subsumed on this guy. I think maybe his 4 has more use in, you know, if I'm taking him for like mobile defense, excavation, things like that. I think the aggro pull is more important there. So here I really just want everyone running at me. To get beat down. It is super easy to keep up. 1500. I think the only criticism I have is the way that his 3 is fired. And obviously that his 2 is worthless, but that's what helmet's for. You should have Left 4 Dead levels of spawn rate, that would be awesome. Man, I have got some good memories from the original Left 4 Dead. A lot of old friends that aren't really around anymore. Bathroom rooms stuffed to the gill with mobs. I think that would be really awesome in this engine. It's sad that they haven't done it. I don't know if it's like a tech thing. It was just a design choice, but especially with Infested, we should be just constantly overwhelmed, and I'd love to have it with all enemies. Like Dynasty Warriors, almost. Just have, you know, squads of enemies in every single room. If you're going for the power fantasy, surely having more enemies that you can destroy would be better. I really like the Dynasty Warrior, I guess, design philosophy. You are as powerful as you are. Pretty much everyone's a trash mob, but then you get relatively frequent mini-bosses. So it feels like we've gone for like a kiddie version of that in Warframe. But having the actual fully fledged version of that would be really cool. These gunners, and I think the only one, actually the Nox and the Bursa, I'll give a lot of credit. I feel like those are decent kind of mid-tier enemies, but I still wouldn't call them like mini-bosses. It'd be nice to have something a tier above those as well, and more enemies like those. So most of the time still spent mowing through hordes of enemies, but relatively frequently you come across something actually threatening. What's going on here?
Go to extraction.
So when you slice through enemies with a slash melee is so satisfying, turn up the bass. You'd think I would get annoyed by Atlas's sound design actually after... Who was I playing? Oh, it was Grendel. I guess you become accustomed to it pretty quickly. But Atlas doesn't bother me at all. Tried that with Acolytes, but then they just get one-tapped. Yeah, I don't know how to go about it better, but I feel like the Acolytes definitely don't hit the nail on the head in that regard. So yeah, I'm not super sold on that. I'd like to try having all 3 umbrals and rubble heap, but I can't afford it with the polarities I've got. Even if I do that. Can there, actually. So I guess we can try that. Guardian and Energize. I don't know how useful... I don't know which one's more useful here. Let's take this out and put Avenger on. See how we go with that. Guess I'm just going to go and do a Steel Path mission. 3 wages in a row without letting the enemy score in 1 match of the innings. I don't really feel like doing that right now. I'm going to have to run to the bathroom real quick, so I'll be back in a sec. Back. Underrated in Steel Path. I feel like there was a lot of talk that I'm on this and noticed I could use lockdown on him. Interesting. Sure why you would want to do that. It's Tenacon, I don't have the Vastlock. Yeah, they'll have to add it. I don't think any drop they've given us through those like weird means have been ever been exclusive to them. Those get thrown into the game eventually. What's the highest level Steel Path you can do? 40, 145. 32, 37. $30, I guess it's Mott. Just gonna do like 5 minutes here and see how it performs. So I don't have Path of Rubble at the moment, so the only way to get Rubble is by using my abilities. Some more energy. Jesus, look at the mini-map. So I'm obviously doing more damage too because I have higher strength. Fully capped already. Killing and getting more rubble now heals us too, right? Seems to be doing a pretty good job of doing that. So I also relearned that you can heal your rumblers with your 3. Kind of cool little synergy. Someone was asking if Atlas was any good before, and I think this is a pretty good showing of how capable he can be. So he's going to have trouble with nullifiers, so rely on your weapons for that. I guess another annoying thing is that because you're mashing 1 all the time, you're constantly getting that enemy not in range sound effect. Definitely like having more range on his 3. I guess I don't have cunning at the moment, so I'm missing out on 15%. It's probably fine. I think I do want to have this augment, so I think I'm going to polarize him once more. We'll drop something. I'm not entirely sure what I'll drop. I should have tried to run with Streamline instead of Fleeting. See if that's still manageable or not. Because I'd like to have a bit more duration on his core. Not super important for survival, but definitely in things like mobile defense. I assume it affects how long enemies are petrified for as well. So it gives him more crowd control with a bit more duration. I'm in solo so I can pause, right? Duration's 19 seconds at the moment. So it'd probably be like 25 seconds if I had Streamline instead of Fleeting. Combo window. So this affects the combo window, its duration. Makes sense. So I've got a duration mod on my weapon, but I don't think that does anything. I wonder if I can Stone Malice. Don't think so, but he still gets fucked up. This might be a bug with the permanent magnetize. I was complaining about that recently. I guess if I'm leaving Dispenser on here, I've got access to more energy that way. Not sure if I'm doing that or not though. I don't know what the threshold is to be able to perform a mercy kill, but I guess if you just beat him down a couple of times and get that, you could hit E and just kill him off real quick. Let's try it on this guy. I guess that's no quicker. Just locked into a long-ass animation. Let's get out of here. So that went pretty well. Must have some god stat stick. I got a ribbon that has 200% damage on it. And we're just getting shitloads of crits. Not sure what I'll put in drifting combat. Drifting contact slot. I'll have a look at it. Review it. Oh, we got our Nightwave done pretty quick. We needed like 700 kills for that, I think. 600 melee kills. So the only one, oh, we got the index. Index and Sortie's left. Hitting an enemy directly with the grenade increases reload speed for 100 by 150%. I don't really think that's that great. Maybe we'll tackle the index things tomorrow. Look, that'll take quite a while. Yeah, I think the only place I've ever used this mod. Realize you can use the dexterity mods, so you don't even have to use those. Interesting. Problem with that is that, I mean, I guess that's fine for if I was doing something very specific with Atlas, but it's not something I'm going to do very often. Same reason I don't like using the smite mods. I don't think drifting is even working. I didn't notice it doing anything, it was just the ability duration. Can't see this, I'm gone to the wiki. Shattering Impact doesn't apply, there's the answer to that. Arcane Fury does work. Zodiac Triumph grants bonus combo count chance. Apparently the Maya doesn't work with Atlas anymore. Urex Wraith, Cyanode Helicore, Fragor Prime, Venka Prime's increased combo cap. Maya has like a toxin thing that used to work with this stuff. Combo window is affected by ability duration and cannot fall below 0.5. Doesn't say anything about weapon mods in relation to combo duration. Fragor Prime is nice. I was using that a fair bit for intrinsic farming. Not with Atlas though. We get rid of that. I kind of like having a status there, even though it's super low status, right? What would I put there instead, I wonder? That's actually the main reason I went there. Hang on. I wanted to see what the ability's base stats are. Then I read everything but that. Abilities. Where does it say? %5 crit, 5% status, 200% critical damage multiplier. So if you can make it crit, it's good. But if I put this on here, I'll go, what, to 15 point whatever? Probably not really worth the slot, right? Yeah. What does this mean? It means I've got like 12% status. I feel like having any increase to status is worth it, just for the occasional viral prop. Still happy to keep that. Maybe I want more critical damage on you. Always weird building for these things that just can't scale in any way. I might just throw crit damage on. That's the Riven I had. Oh, so I guess I've got 200% crit chance on that. So I use this one Riven for Atlas, Gara, and Korra. So it's like good for the other frames, even though it's not super good for this one. I mean, it's decent for all of them, rather. So 200% there. Another 200% here. So I'll be at like 25% crit chance if I threw that on there. And then Avenger's giving me like 30%. Kind of curious just to see how that feels. Maybe you can force crits with a sleep from Ovara Quiver? You probably could. I feel like that would make him feel even more disjointed. This is what I'm using for crits. 21%. 45% crit chance for 12. I feel like this is running all the time, more or less. Let's do that. 70-second duration, 31-second stone duration, and 1.5 combo window. Basically out of time, so I guess we'll just go into another 5-minute mod and see how it feels compared to what I just did. I don't really have time to go and do index or anything like that.
Their rage is vehement, focus impressive. Give them all warrior's death.
Just shut down this.
Obviously 4 is way more expensive.
Life support capsules your way.
Really spammable it. Straight up. Do you get an energized proc or you get shot a bit? Everyone's stoned, so I can't get energy off anyone. So we're above 1500 now. 1400 rather. Which means our 1 is free. I guess our 3 is using like 40 energy a pop. Which if it's the only thing you're using that takes energy, I guess that's not too bad. I don't want a better tile for enemy pathing. Let's get out of the spawn. That's all the way back here, frozen. So I think when they're petrified you do... I don't know if it's double damage. I thought you did more damage when they were frozen. Crazy? I swear that used to be a thing. Being petrified enemies drops 1 piece of rubble, storing 50 health or 50 armor. So it looks like it heals before it gives you armor, which is good to know. You can still proc them with the status. I guess you don't do extra damage. Could have sworn that used to be a thing, but it was changed or I'm crazy.
Support capsule to the area.
Kind of interested to see what natural talent feels like too. I don't really think it would be worth a mod slot. Probably interesting to feel. I think it would only affect his 3 and 4. Pretty sure it doesn't work on his 1. What's the stone range on his 4? Let's have a look. So it seems to be where you activate it. So not where the ability is cast. Pretty small radius. So I guess that's not really a reason you would ever cast your 4. But it's a nice little bonus for when you do. Because your 3 is obviously just so much better at doing that. Yeah, I really swear you used to do more damage against petrified dudes. I feel like that was definitely in a video at some point. I think I'm pretty satisfied with the range on his 3. I know I'm short Cunning Drift at the moment, but I think with it, it's pretty much perfect. Got a friend? Bitch slap that guy. So it looks like we need to throw one more former on Atlas to keep this augment. Don't really mind because we still end up using all of the umbrals. Yeah, you really don't see the status ever, do you? The only place you'd ever notice it is on the big guys. This guy's 1 viral proc, 1 impact proc. There's another big guy. Gotta keep in mind I'm using a pretty shitty dog at the moment, the one I usually run viral procs everybody. I think I'll get rid of the crit chance mod. I don't really think it matters. Swap it out for crit damage. Maybe a stealth bonus? What do you mean? I don't like Valkyr's ult. The weapons hit very hard but no status. Yeah. Do you have Syndo Manticore? I think I do. I don't think it's specific to the Syndo though, right? Oh, you mean the... has like a 5% passive damage thing, right? Thought about that. I don't know which weapon is the best now. The Maya used to be the best, hands down, but now that its passive doesn't affect it, I don't know what I would swap to. 15%? Really? Does Petri... oh, right. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it had a stealth bonus or if it was like a public bonus that's been changed, or if I'm just crazy and it never existed. Not really sure. I guess it'd be pretty easy to test in the sim. What was I going to do? Let's get rid of this crit. So throw a former on him before I log off, so I remember that I'm doing it. Let's just go and test this really quick and then I'll sign out.
The multitude of creatures
And they have to punch one dude.
would cry out in thanks.
I don't have a cap. So 73. Wait for the impact proc to wear off just in case. 42. 218. 435. So 523 is my default damage now. That's alright, so that's for my fourth attack. So I'm doing 109 on my first. And 73 when they're not petrified. So it's like a 30% damage increase if they're petrified. Alright, because I had the combo. I mean, yeah, you're definitely doing more damage, right? Yeah, that answers that question. I would use Atlas more if he looked cooler. He looks so lame. I think he looks awesome. Particularly Atlas Prime, I quite like him. It is a little bit weird that he has like the full hood thing going, like a buff Sith Lord, but yeah, it's fine. So I guess we're gonna drop a dash for a Augment Polarity. What is this called? Zenric, really? Yeah. So we'll do that. Get our 3 Umbrals, get everything else maxed out. And I can always swap in like a lower rank bleeding if I want to there. Oh, pretty happy with that. Good progress. Well, I'm done for today. Hopefully Plague Star is here by the time I stream tomorrow. Based on the time people were saying earlier it should be, so probably what I'll be working on then. Anything else in particular? I think I have to do anything else either. So I'll see you tomorrow.